Yep, I know. It's been a bit. Is it possible that I'm going to start every subsequent video with that phrase now? It's possible. You might say I've fallen out of habit, which is what I wanted to talk about today. This book is called The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. I'm learning about the rule of thirds right now in my video production class, so I'm trying to speaking of like the rule of thirds, like I find that so true. Like whenever I look at any rectangle of any sort, I always look to this spot right here. That's not the topic of the video. Like I said, we're talking about this book. I'm not finished with it. I'm about halfway through, I believe. But I just wanted to talk about just the fundamental thing that it laid down, which was how habits are formed in the first place. Charles details our routines and habits as three main components. The first thing is the cue for the habit. That is the thing that gets our brain to activate and realize that we're running through a routine and that it can just turn on the subroutine that it has wired into it because it's been done this before. The second part is the routine itself, which is, brushing your teeth, reading a book, going to the gym and exercising. And then the third component is the reward. So the reward is the good thing that releases dopamine into your head, and it is the thing that lets the brain know that the routine is over, we can stop, and we can get that subroutine ready for later. It never occurred to me how simple that is in our head. I mean, it's not simple, all things considered. So for instance, when brushing your teeth, maybe the cue for brushing your teeth for you is when you run your tongue over your teeth, you notice that it feels a little dirty. So your brain turns on the subroutine for brushing teeth. And then you go brush your teeth, and then, I don't know if you know this, but I learned this from this book, that the foaming and numbing sensation that toothpaste provides doesn't need to be there. The only reason that stuff is there is to make you think that the toothpaste is doing something. And once you think it's doing something, that's the reward. That activates the reward centers of your brain, and then the routine for brushing your teeth ends, and then it waits again for another cue. Thinking about it like that, our routines can get a little bit easier to take control of. I'd encourage you to read this whole book because it is a really well written book, and I've been reading it every single day. Getting a handle on our habits and our routines throughout our life, if we can think of them as cues, routines, and rewards, it gets real easy to form new habits and to try to replace old ones. In this book, it also talks about how we can't really get rid of our habits, but we can replace the routine that happens in the middle, so as long as the cue and the reward remain the same. I just wanted to share my thoughts on that because I think that's really cool. Also, look at this guy. Look at him. I think he's great. I'll see you next time. Really?